Hello everybody, and welcome back to the fourth maybe, devlog for Industria. So, it's been a long while. As for why it's been so long, I haven't really had anything to make a devlog on. So, I've been doing a lot on Industria, but it just hasn't been anything worthy of a devlog, per se. So I've mostly just kind of been polishing some things up, and I have been working on a few new things as well. So I'm going to try and go through everything, but I'm sure I'm going to miss everything, because I have done a lot. It's just not that I can show you much. So first of all, I have started working on a new process for making rubber. Right, which is what the latex and rubber tree was built for. And I'll put some clips on screen right now of me kind of talking about it. I did do a live stream. I don't know how many people caught that live stream, but I did a development live stream and we got some stuff done. And I was talking about the whole kind of process there.
Yeah, okay, let me read through. That gives you
I've heard
one of the things I spent here. So many hours.
I've actually,
you can go straight to
gives us
never really played Tech. Yeah, I have made a bit water, of course. The more complex one is sodium bisulfate, but yeah, I know that alternative does this same much simpler.
Since then, I've kind of decided I'm gonna somewhat scrap that system, or at least kind of leave it behind. Because it's a little bit too complex and I'm not sure it's really necessary. But the idea is there's a whole massive chemical process to make rubber. But for now I've just left that alone. So now the creative inventory is, there's a fair amount in here, but most of it is just these upgrades, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then the rubber wood set as well is quite a large chunk. So as you can see, I've tried to do kind of some textures for things. There's still not much. Biomass still needs its texture. Researcher, projector, these things all still need their textures, but they'll be done soon. So let's talk about the things I can show you. Oh, actually first, I just wanted to say I've been trying to work on cables. I can't really show you any clips or anything for that. It's on a separate branch, so I can't show you it here either. But yeah, I did start working on cables and they kind of work. I can probably show you a screenshot of the debugging values of the cables, but they kind of work, not really. They're probably something I'm going to leave until the far future, because they're complex. They're a little too complex for me. I'm not sure that I am good enough to make those right now. So those are going to be left alone for a while. Instead, I decided to work on this thing right here. So as you can see, it's a tree decapitator. And it's basically what it says. I mean, it doesn't decapitate, but there's that mod that says it's tree decapitation, where it takes down the whole tree. It's not really decapitation, but that's besides the point. The point is it cuts down trees. So if I plonk one down, put a tree there, and I'll have to... Actually, let's just grab some bone meal instead. And chop it down. Now we do have a UI here. You can see the little numbers. That was just for debugging. I still kind of am debugging that. But if I grab something to power it, because it needs power, of course. So... right now we only have the biomass power, and I made it so, and obviously I get the little thing for that, but if I put this down, I made it so that it can export power to its side. So if I put a biomass in here, and I'll talk a little more about that in a second, but this should be gaining energy, which it is, and you see that did break this block here. So it kind of needs by default 100 energy to break a single block of the tree, which is obviously quite a lot. So something you would invest in is one of these upgrades. So for example, the efficiency upgrades, you have 1, 2, 3 and then ultimate. So ultimate efficiency would reduce that, I think, to about 1 power per block. So this goes just in these slots here. These are the upgrade slots. It wouldn't obviously have these numbers here. They are just for debugging purposes. I actually completely forgot I even had them. So if I just put some more biomass in here, because it used it all, so I plonk that in there, and you see these blocks are getting broken. And you see that it is breaking in a really weird pattern, because I haven't really, I kind of want to work on patterns a little bit more, add some kind of configuration in this GUI for how it should break them, like what order it should break them in, because currently it doesn't really know. And also I'm obviously going to add a custom model, an animation, whatever, to this block, because right now it's a bit boring, isn't it? And this can go basically as far out as you want it to go, as long as you have a range and count upgrade. So the important thing to note is, by default, it only has a range of, I think, 16 blocks, or maybe 64, and it's the same with the count. So the count is basically how many it can break. So one thing you might do is just get the range upgrades and the count upgrades. And if I plonk these in here, then you'll see it can now break basically as far out as you want. I'm pretty sure Ultimate brings it to like 2056 or something, 2048 I mean, which is quite a lot basically. And yeah, there's now a border for the energy bars as well, but that's a minor thing, and it also doesn't look that great because it's a work in progress. A lot of things are obviously still a work in progress. So if I do just run this, I'll have to just grow these saplings. And these ones, and these ones. All the way out here. And you'll see that if I now grow this one, it should be able to break all of these. And it will start from the top. It always starts from the top. It'll go down. So these ones must have been like too far away, or outside of the count. They're probably too far away because that is quite far. And you'll see it's now low on energy, so it's breaking them a lot slower, one by one. Let's just get rid of these ones. And that will slowly go through there. Now you see it drops all the items, which is a little bit annoying. So one thing you might want to do is grab I can't see it. There you go, the collection upgrade. And this will basically transfer the items into this inventory. Apparently I've accidentally disabled the collection upgrade, which wasn't my intention. But it puts them in this inventory basically. Yeah, I need to note down that. And there's also a silk touch upgrade, which I can put in here, and that will just basically silk it. So you'll see it now drops the leaf blocks instead of the saplings. And as you can see here, you can only have 4 upgrades, so you have to kind of decide. And there is also a speed upgrade here, this one. So that will make it go faster, which you could do maybe instead of silk touch. So I could put that in there, and it'll break it a lot faster. But obviously that only works if you have the energy for it, right? So you see it does now break loads at once. Basically that's what the speed does. It breaks multiple at once. So it requires the same amount of energy, and it will take the same amount of time. It's just that if you have more energy, it's going to go faster. That's the idea of it anyways. Yeah, it's a shame that the collection upgrade doesn't work. It definitely did work, and I can probably show you some clips of it, which might have been on screen throughout this process. And yeah, that will do its thing. So let's talk about the biomass generator, since actually... no, let's not talk about that yet. Let's talk about the kind of next thing I worked on. We'll go in order of the way I developed it, since this is a quote-unquote devlog. So we'll grab the crusher. Oh, and don't worry about these item models. I know they look really weird. They are really weird. I just haven't done an item model for them yet, so they're a bit janky. But if I place down the crusher, you see it has a nice block model, or at least I think it's quite nice. And I can put something in there. So right now, I only have a recipe for iron ore. So to break down iron ore. And I'm also going to grab a hopper, just to show you this. So let's put a hopper there. Just grab a chest. So this will be for like the collection. If I could type, hello? Oh my god. Right, there you go. And we can also put in a hopper up here. But before I do that, I should just mention this has power by default. Don't worry about that too much. It's just I haven't connected, any kind of power to it yet. So all I have to do is just throw it on top, and you'll see it starts crushing. That's basically instant, because I turned it down to like 10 ticks, whereas before it was 100. And also, I should mention, it keeps like stopping. You see how it's doing that? That's because of the energy. That's kind of the way that the energy works. And you see those are being extracted from there. And that will only happen from the bottom. That may sound like such an obvious thing to do, right? Of course, it's only going to extract from the bottom. But that's actually a lot easier said than done. It took me a while to do that. Kind of had to rewrite a lot of turtlib to make that work. And I can obviously just put them in here as well. And that will work. And I can also just hopper them in. Now if you see I do it from the side, that won't work, because obviously it only needs to come in from the front. So put those in there and that will work. And it works with both iron and deep slate iron, which is pretty nice. And you see there's a nice little animation in here, particles. It doesn't make a sound at the moment because I haven't done sound yet. Sounds are going to be a little bit of a pain to do, I think, but hopefully soon. I am currently trying to polish as much as I can, just to make things look a little bit nicer. And yeah, you'll see these just kind of go through like that. And yeah, so that's the crusher. Now next let's go back to the biomass generator, which I literally have just been working on. Well, I say literally, like 2 days ago, basically. And I personally really like this animation, so not to blow my own horn or anything, but if I put some biomass in here, you'll see there's like a piston here which pushes out towards here. And then the smoke particles go through this hole, and they come through here where it goes through this spinning thing. Sometimes you get a flame because, and up here we have the rotor, which is basically grinding up the biomass in here. The actual kind of texture of the model is a work in progress. At least for now, it's just going to use the vanilla textures. Because I'm not really comfortable enough making my own kind of textures for custom modeled blocks, but at some point in the future I will do that. And also just ignore this weird kind of hitbox here. I did that a little bit wrong, but that's okay. But yeah, and obviously this works the same as the crusher, in which you can put them in the top. Well, actually you can't right now, but you will be able to put them in the top, and you can also hopper into the top. I'm pretty sure I made this work. Yes, I did. And you cannot hopper into the sides like that. So it sounds simple. It's a little bit more complex than it sounds, but that's okay. So yeah, that's basically what I've been working on, and I'm fully aware it doesn't look like much, but it takes time. It takes time. Let's just let this finish. Something you could just do to like speed this up is just have like 2 biomass generators, or even more if you wanted. You know, we can go all the way, and then you're getting big energies. You'll see those very quickly will fill this energy up. And yeah, that will be that. So let's just pick these up and get rid of some lag. Okay, anything else I have done? That's a good question. I don't think so. So that's basically all I've done. And as I said, it doesn't look like much. But hopefully I've shown some clips of the cables, or something, and also a clip from the stream, maybe, of me kind of explaining the whole agitator stuff. I don't know if I've even made a devlog of the agitator, actually. Let's talk about the agitator, just in case I haven't. So basically, it has 3 inputs and 3 outputs. I know that's not very clear at the moment, but that's fine. And you see there's fluid in this first one. Ignore the tooltips. It's all in development, so you can't judge any of this. But basically, you toggle between fluid, which is this, and between a item slot, which looks simple, as most things do, but it's actually very complicated. And basically, you can do that for all of these. If I put an item in there, so if I just plonk, wood in there, it disables that slot. I can now no longer change it. Now if I take it out, it does that. And basically the same with fluids. And the idea was there's also a gas one, but I didn't do that because I'm still kind of deciding, should I add gases or not? Yeah, I'm not sure about that, whether I should add gases or just make them fluids. I don't really want to make them fluids, but it's just a bit of a pain to add gases. So, and making those also compatible with other mods. Yeah, I'm not sure what I will do about that, but for now, this is kind of scrapped anyway, since this was only, at least this was originally built for the system for rubber. I will be able to use it for other things though, so anything that needs mixing. So basically what an agitator does is it just mixes things, right? It's just basically a blender, but not for foods, is how I always explain it to people. And yeah, you just mix fluids, items, gases together, and it gives you, 3 outputs, which can also be a mix. That's not really how it works in the real world, but who cares about the real world? This is Minecraft. This is funny Lego game. So yeah. But anyway, that's it for this quote-unquote devlog. It's more of just a kind of catch-up thing. In theory, the next devlog might be more structured like a devlog, maybe, but we'll have to see. It depends if I can record clips, because my OBS still does not like me recording long footage. So yeah, but if you did find this devlog enjoyable, then please do be sure to smash your face into that like button, and also subscribe as well, so you know when I next post a devlog. And yeah, I will see you in the next devlog. Goodbye.